Chapter 2, August 19th. Taylor came over to my house today. It was the first time he saw me invisible. We'd been friends for a while now. I like him because he's pretty funny, even though he farts a lot, which drives me nuts. He tries to blame the farts on me, of course, especially around the girls in class. But it's okay. I still like him as my best friend because he's always cracking jokes. Sometimes, during class, he makes me laugh so hard my stomach hurts, and then I get in trouble. "Wow, that's so cool," Taylor yelled when he saw my shirt floating in the room for the first time. He didn't even freak out or anything. "Tell me all about it. What can you do? If you didn't have any clothes on, no one could see you, right? It's like I've seen on TV. I'm so jealous. You could even steal a lot of candy if you wanted," Taylor yelled. "There will be no use of invisibility for illegal activity." Mom put her foot down about me sneaking around and doing anything with no clothes on. I didn't want to anyway. It's weird to walk around with no clothes on, even if no one can see you. "Now that you're invisible, we should rename the spy club to the Invisible Spy Club," Taylor yelled. August 31st, Thursday morning. It was the first day of 6th grade, and I was very nervous about going to school. Even though I'd been at Brook Elementary since kindergarten, this was the first year since I turned invisible. Being a shy kid, I often felt invisible, but never dreamed it could happen. Yet here I was. Mom and I met with Mr. Clark, the school principal, and my new teacher, Mrs. Alexandra Barker, about a week before school started. We agreed I'd need to wear a hat every day to school. "Mrs. Eden, I think it will make it less scary for the other kids," said Mr. Clark. "Maybe even if Matt wears a scarf over his face so people don't see nothing between his hat and his shirt." No other kid could wear a hat in school. It was normally against the rules. I guess it's easier for them than seeing a shirt and pants floating in the air. I practiced wearing a scarf over my face last week, and it got boiling hot. Hopefully, I won't pass out at school. Something about being invisible and passing out does not seem like a fun day at school. My mom also told Mr. Clark and Mrs. Barker about my dad. After he met with us, Mr. Clark sent out a letter to all the students' parents. It was something like, "Dear parents, we would like to tell you we will have an invisible kid in school this year. Please talk to your child about being kind and respectful." They left out the part about my dad going missing. I guess they figured that was too much for people to handle. I was not looking forward to all the kids staring and pointing at school. I had a feeling the letter wouldn't do too much. Kids can't help pointing and talking about weird things. I think me being invisible qualifies as weird. Mom dropped me off at school and yelled, "Bye, Matt, have a good day," from the car. Oh, sure, I thought, I'll have a good day being the only invisible kid at school. Yeah, it's going to be great. Mom had settled into me being invisible pretty well, I have to say. She doesn't jump when she sees my clothes floating into a room anymore. She also doesn't make me wear a hat, but sometimes I like to anyway. I wish Dad could have been there too. He always used to give me a hug before school, and I missed that today. Sometimes I'd run into the garage to chat with him when I got up early. But no one has seen him since the accident. I've been carrying around the statue of his golden dragon to remember him. When I hold it, I feel closer to him. I've also been looking for clues about where he might be. I'm sure he's still alive. In the past, when we'd talk about his experiments, he'd say, "Matt, the world is full of mystery, and I'm here to investigate it." But one time he said something I thought was odd. "If something ever happens to me, I'm not gone. I'm trapped somewhere. Believe me, I'll be working very hard to get back. It might take me some time, but there are invisible worlds around us. We just can't see them." I should have asked him more about invisible worlds that day. I never thought he would disappear. Boy, I miss him a lot, but I know he'll be back one day. At least I hope he will. Anyway, back to school stuff. I saw Taylor as soon as I got out of the car. We walked together to our 6th grade classroom. When we walked into class, the kids had already started staring at me. "Good morning, class. I'm Mrs. Barker," she wrote on the board. Taylor barked like a dog in my ear when she said her name. I started laughing, and then she told me if I laughed in class again today, I'd go see the principal. I didn't want to see the principal on the first day, so I bit my tongue to stop laughing. "Now, class, I know you all knew Matt before he turned invisible," Mrs. Barker said. "Remember, he's the same boy he's always been, and we've known him since kindergarten, so please be nice to him and treat him like you did before." "I ignored him before," said Ruby quietly, so only I could hear. My face felt like it was turning red, if you could see my face. She sat to the right of me and had always been a big bossy pants. "Okay, class, let's stop the chatter and get to work," Mrs. Barker said. The rest of the morning, Mrs. Barker went around the room and asked people what they did for summer. There were 25 kids in class, and I was hoping I'd be at the end. "I went to surf camp," said Mark. "We drove to Arizona and saw the Grand Canyon," yelled Carter. I never liked being called on at school or answering questions, even before becoming invisible. At least now the kids couldn't see me blush. My turn was coming up as each kid mentioned their summer plans. When it got to me, I wasn't sure what to say. People could already see I was invisible. I wasn't sure I wanted to mention my dad either. "Your turn, Matt," said Mrs. Barker. I tried to say something. "Invisible and can't speak," Carter taunted, singing out the words. Carter has been a bully since kindergarten. Looks like he hasn't changed at all over summer. The class giggled, which made me more nervous. "Carter, you'll now have a homework assignment. Write 3 ways I can be nice to my classmates," Mrs. Barker huffed. "Go ahead, Matt. What did you do this summer that you would like to share with the class?" Well, my dad did an experiment in the garage and disappeared, and I'm trying to find him." The words left my mouth before I realized what I said. "What do you mean disappeared?" Mark asked. "You mean invisible, like you?" "No," I whispered. "He's somewhere else, I think. Like stuck." "Like in jail?" Mark questioned. "No, not like that either," I replied. Okay, class, let's end it here. It's time to go to lunch. Grab your lunch and line up." Mrs. Barker walked towards the door. Man, why did I say that? Me and my nervous responses. Mentioning my dad to the class made me miss him more. I wondered where he went when he disappeared. I know, since I'm invisible, he is somewhere too, only I can't see him. It also made me wish I had a brother to be here with me, someone to make me feel stronger than I am. I always wanted a brother. Now it's just me, Mom, and our dog Cupcake.